all of my loved ones. How are you doing? This is Love Marlene 411, your channel for all of the trauma healing. We discuss relationship issues and, of course, self care and self development because it's not until we unpack, unravel, face, talk about these things before we can be better women and be better men. Okay? So today on From My Heart to Yours, we're going to be discussing Self Love is Not Enough. This is the series of From My Heart to Yours. I don't remember what episode we're on, but today I feel like talking about doing this for you and that self love is not enough. Most of the time, I'll just start off by saying this self love is incomplete. We need more than just loving ourselves. Well, that's wonderful. It's great. It's something that every single one of us needs to possess, that self love, but it's not complete. That's not all we need in order to be okay. And especially on this channel, I talk about self love and the issue that happens for a lot of us is that we have been so beat down. Any of you who have ever dealt with some trauma from your childhood, from an ex, from whoever who put things on you, or you've experienced some traumatic things, it's not as easy as it seems to love ourselves. When you have had trauma, when you have had been taken advantage of, when you've been disrespected, when people have treated you like you're nothing, it's not as easy to say, I love myself or I will treat myself well, okay? We need to be doing some more. And that's why today's topic, self love, is not enough. We need more than that. Hold on a second, guys. I did forget my tablet. And I think I'm back with my tablet. Yeah, we need more than to just say, I love myself. While that's a good start, it's a good start, especially for those of you like myself who have been hurt, scarred, traumatized, disrespected, taken advantage of. When all of those things happen to us, it's not as easy to love ourselves in the way that we need to. That's why today's topic is self love is not enough. Self love is incomplete. Hey, realists, how are you doing? Happy Sunday. We need more than to just love ourselves. And I really wanted for us to get into this conversation because self love is good. Self love is the foundation, but we really need more. We need more than to just say, I love myself. We need more than to just, say that. What are we actively doing, especially after being traumatized, cheated on, disrespected, abused in some way? Verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually, that we have to unpack those things and get to really the root of how do we treat ourselves. Now, that is something that I can't tell you. We each are different. We each need different things in order to be healthy, happy human beings. But what is truly important is that we do the work. We put in the work in ourselves. And I know, me coming from that space of pain and hurt, we feel like we don't deserve it. You feel like like, because you've been talked down to, taken advantage of, disrespect, run over, talked about, really dirty, it makes you seem like you don't deserve those things. And I'm here to tell you that even if other people may have said things to you, took advantage of you, each and every one of you are worthy of love. You are worthy of showing up for yourself and doing all of the things, but we all need more than just to say that I love myself. We need more than that. You need more. And It's all of those things. Yes, thank you, realist. We need more than just saying we love ourselves. Is three things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And I got my notes here because I did a little research for you guys on what we need. We need more than just loving ourselves. We actually need this first one, self-awareness. Self-awareness is so important. I can't tell you guys enough how important it is to be self-aware, self-aware of, you know, even just saying, I'm somebody, declaring that, speaking it over your life, because any of you like myself, when you have been through things, people have trampled over your heart, backstabbed you, used you verbally, emotionally, physically, financially, abused you. You really don't feel like you are anybody. And some people are on their journey of self love in different stages, you know? Hi, Miss Betty. How are you doing? We're all on a self-love journey in different phases. For some of us, that self-love means, okay, I'm gonna dress a certain way, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. But self-awareness is important because, let me do a little bit of a definition. Self-awareness means that you recognize your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your behaviors, and you know what you need in yourself. Okay, what you personally need to be okay. And why that is so difficult for many of us, when people have told you how you should look, how you should feel, how you should be, and trying to trample on your self-esteem, trample on your self-worth, making you feel like, oh, you're nothing, you're nobody. So it takes for us taking some steps back and unpacking it and putting things in the right position. I am somebody of worth, even if this person said this person did this to me. And why I wanted to have this conversation is because we all need to heal. As an adult, we're not going to keep making excuses for what our sister, auntie, mama, cousin, our ex, co-workers, whatever other people said, even people on social media. We can't allow other people or the past to get us in a position to where we never love ourselves the way that we deserve, the way that you deserve. To all of my loved ones, we all deserve to be loved. We all deserve to be healed. Now, over here, I talk about a healing journey, and it's going to be different for everybody, but I can share a little bit how it started for me. First, first I have to say is, for many years, you put up this front like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm strong. I'm this, I'm that, right? Because it's a survival technique. It's because you have to continue on. Life continues to move on. So you put up this, oh, I'm okay, when how, if you've been verbally abused for many years, sexually abused for many years, financially abused for many years. That abuse, if we don't take that abuse and put it into its rightful place, this happened to me. This is what I allowed. This is what I think that I deserve, and all of those things. And a lot. Hi, Sirius. How are you doing? Hi, the truth. Um, we each have to come into that space within ourselves, knowing that through the pain, through the hurt, through the backstabbing, through the whatever happened, the abuse, the disrespect, through all of the trauma that I have been through in my life, I'm still loved. I'm still somebody. I'm still worth it. I'm still worthy. I'm still, I still am somebody. And even though this happened to me many years ago, years and years of abuse, years and years of disrespect, years of so many things that we feel like we'll never get over that. I'll never be happy. I'll never be able to get through this pain. And I'm here to tell you that it's not an easy road, but it is definitely a road that you can walk through. That's why I said it's a healing journey. And that's what I want for every single one of you, no matter what you've been through. No matter if it was one time, many times, if it was years, if it was months, when we feel that we have not been loved the way that we feel we deserve to be loved, it's a difficult road. And that's why I do these topics from my heart to yours, because I want each and every one of us to be better than the next generation. I want you to be a better mother, maybe than your mother was, or a better father, better brother, better sister, better friend, better wife, better husband, better whoever you show up in other people's lives. I want for each and every one of us to be better than whoever were the individuals that hurt us. Now, I know that it takes you looking at yourself in the mirror and facing things. Now, I'm not no therapist. All I am is I'm just a life coach. I'm just a woman that has enough courage to say, let's heal from what we've been through. Let's not be the miserable. Let's not be the statistic of an angry woman or an angry man that, oh, well, my parents hurt me, so I'm going to do the same thing. Or my ex did this to me, so I'll do this to the next person. No, when you know better, you do better. When you work on yourself, you are going to be better for so many people in your life. Now, how do I know that? Because that's what I chose to do. Every day I wake up, it's not that the thoughts don't come into my head about what people have said, the things that has been done to me. I've had so many different forms of abuse that every day I wake up, I never know what mindset, what frame of mind I'm going to be in, but I give myself the permission to say, today I'm going to choose to love myself. Today I am healed. Today I am happy. Today I speak over my life. And that's how you have to do it. It starts with baby steps. And it's not easy. You're going to have many days. You're going to want to just stay in bed. Like, oh, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go out. I don't want to take care of myself. I don't want to do those things. But I said all of that to come to this space that we need more than just self love. The first point was that we need self awareness. So, being aware of who we are, being aware of who you are as a woman, being aware of who you are as a man, that is important. And many times, that's the reason why some trauma happened to us, because we didn't love ourselves the way that we needed to be loved. See, if there was anybody in here listening that was like myself or is currently like how I used to be, waiting on friends or family or a romantic relationship to fill up your cup, to say this, I'm only valuable and I'm only valid because of the people who validate me, the people who love me, the people who pour into me, and that's not true. First, you have to pour into yourself. First, you got to show up for yourself. First, you have to be aware, even if you're just starting and today is your day one of saying, today I am choosing me. I am aware of myself. And like I said earlier, I recognize my thoughts, my feelings, my behaviors, and I will treat myself with dignity. See, and sometimes because we didn't get that, especially in talking about trauma and being disrespected, taken advantage of, use and abuse, it's like it's a new thing. You have to learn how to treat yourself better. That's why I say self love is not enough. It's a foundation. It's wonderful to love yourself, but you also need to be aware of what you need. And that's going to be the next level after you love yourself. Then you need to be thinking, I'm aware. And that means anything that is taking away from you loving yourself, like people using you, disrespecting you, not showing up for you. You need to be looking out for those who are energy vampires, those who take advantage of you financially, emotionally, those who don't show up for you, those who don't support you. When you are aware of that, you are able to catch the leaks in your self-love, because your love for yourself will leak out if you don't have those things to say, no, I'm not going to do that, or no, I don't like that. No, I'm not going to allow you to do this or this because I love myself. See, self-love, self-awareness. Now we're going to go into the next point. We need to do this for ourselves, and this is a very hard one. At least it was hard for me, and that is self boundaries. Now, nobody likes to hear the word boundary, because people know that that's where, okay, I got to do things right, or I'm going to get cut off, I'm going to get blocked. And yes, while that is true, self boundaries also means that we are going to prioritize our well-being. Well, that is so important. Sirius says, how are you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored. Thanks. Yes, I am as well. I'm glad you are too, Sirius. Yes. Hi, Dixon. How are you doing? So this is something important. Self boundaries. Do you have boundaries when it comes to the people who come around you? Are you aware of what you personally want? Why I say this is because this is important. People will treat you the way that you treat yourself. If you allow disrespect, if you allow people to run over you, if you allow people to do things and you don't say no, you don't cut them off, or they don't see you treating yourself in a good way, people are going to say, well, she don't love herself, or he don't love themselves, so I can do whatever I want. See, we train people how to treat us. Therapy definitely taught me that. I definitely had to learn how to say, today I'm going to take some time for me, turn my phone off. And it's not because I don't love people in my life, but in order to be a better woman, or if you're a man, in order to be a better man, I have to take time for me. I have to pour into me so that I am okay first. And that is um, taking care of my well being. That is setting a boundary. I am going to take care of me before I focus on your kids, your spouse, your whoever, your job. You got to take care of yourself first. So I'm saying that to all of the ladies and the gentlemen, that you have to set some boundaries. You have to, no matter what, how you were acting even yesterday, today is a new day. When you become empowered, knowledge is power. Now, how are you going to be treating yourself? Forget about yesterday, last week, last year, what other people, how you used to be. And no, today is a new day. And today we are empowered. And that's what you have to start dropping those seeds of empowerment into yourself. Yesterday, what is the past? Today is my present, and I'm going to use my day as a gift. Okay. We each have the gift of life and a new day. So it means that we're going to set those self boundaries and prioritize our well being. And this is something that was definitely new to me when I think about trauma healing and things like that. Prioritizing my comfort level. Now that's new for me. That was a new statement. That was a new empowerment, a new personal growth and development for me, to prioritize my comfort. Like, I'm just naturally a person who is a giving and kind and will pour into people. And one thing that I had to learn when it came to self-love is, am I comfortable? Is this going to take me out of pocket financially? Is this going to mess with my mental health? Is this going to impact my goals and my future and the things that I personally want to do? So that's something for us to sit and pause and really think about those things. Am I doing what I need to do so that I can love myself better? Am I setting those boundaries in my comfort level? Can you guys think of some of those things that are things that we should be focused on for our comfort level? I know some things that I wasn't prioritizing is when I needed sleep, when I needed to take a day for my mental health, or sometimes not a day. Maybe you need some moments. Maybe go for a walk or hit the gym or spend some time doing something that fills up your cup, your favorite hobby and things like that. And that's something that I would never have done before when, because I would just, oh, I don't have the time or I don't have the money. If there's an excuse, we can always make it. Why? Because we have been trained that we have to help other people. That's our role. You have to support other people. You have to be nice to people. You have to be kind to other people. But one thing is for sure is that kindness has its limits. Yeah, therapy taught me that. All my thousands of dollars that I spent on therapy, kindness has limits. And there's a lot of people that aren't going to like that you have that awareness and that empowerment. Yes, kindness has limits. I will be kind when it's in the power of my hand, when I can, but don't force my hand. That is setting a self boundary. I can give to others, I can be kind to others, but I will not let myself go wanting. I will not let myself lose. I will not let myself be aside from my goals. I will not mess up my mental health trying to deal with people who are negative, low vibrational, immature, and the list goes on and on. We know those people. They never grow up. They never treat us the right way. They never have healed. They've never come to the space of doing some of that inner work maybe that you have done. But that's not our responsibility. In this new stage of our lives, when we're going through the healing journey, the trauma healing, we have to look at ourselves and say, I have to look at my comfort level. Okay. So the next time somebody's trying to challenge that you're doing something for yourself for self love, maybe you just want to be by yourself. Maybe you need a day for your mental health. Maybe it's a vacation. Maybe it's going back to the gym or whatever it is that you need to do for your healing journey so you can be your best self. Do it. It's about your comfort level. And I'm not here trying to say, oh, it's just being selfish. No, that's not what I mean. I mean that we have to prioritize our healing. There's nobody gonna come and hold you by the hand. Oh, you gotta love yourself today. Oh, don't answer that phone call because that's gonna stress you out. Or don't do that because that's going to trigger you or whatever it is. We have to be self aware and we have to set those boundaries because if we don't set a boundary for ourselves, I'm uncomfortable. Certain conversations may make you uncomfortable, like people expecting for you to do things for them. That's a very famous thing that relatives will do. I know there's some of you that will agree with me. Thank you so much for that. Yes, tap the two dots. Thank you so much, Sirius. Hi, John. How are you doing? Yes, thank you so much for the disclosures. How high power of the Trinity? How are you doing? So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. That it's important for us to be on our own comfort level, and that is a new thing. It was definitely new for me to say that I do deserve to spend time on myself. You deserve to spend time on yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You deserve to show up for you. You deserve those things. And it's a new thing, learning how to prioritize ourselves, learning how to set boundaries like, nope, I'm not going to do that because that makes me feel uncomfortable. Don't be ashamed to say that because you love yourself. That makes me feel uncomfortable, you know? I don't like that or whatever it is. Hi, Mario. How are you doing? So that's something that's important. So I wanted to acknowledge that to all of my loved ones, for each and every one of us to know that about ourselves, okay? Know that about yourself, that you're loved because you're putting in the work to love yourself. I want to say that to every single one of you. You got to take some time for you to pause, to heal, to meditate, and to prioritize your well-being, okay? Self-love is so important, okay? It is. Self-love is so important. Hi Georgina, how are you doing? Welcome in. Hi Charlie, welcome. Okay, so we got one more point and we're going to get out of here, okay? So, self-love is not enough. We also need self-respect. Now, there's so much people who always will say, I love myself, right? We hear it on social media, in our families, on the job, all over. People say that they love themselves, but do they respect yourself? Do you respect yourself, loved ones? Now, let's talk a little bit about that. Self respect means acknowledging your personal worth. You're treating yourself with kindness, dignity, and being confident. That's so important. It's so important to treat yourself with dignity. It's important that you treat yourself the right way. You know, dress with class. That's something that's something that I pride myself on. I always try to be a lady, try to be classy. And whether you're a woman or you're a man, you could be a class act. You know, regardless of how other people want to dress or talk, you can stand out as different. You don't have to follow the crowd. You don't have to be a part of social media trends. Just be yourself, okay? Just be yourself. And that took me a while, you know. I can't speak on boys or men because I have never been a boy or a man, but I know what it feels like to be a girl and to be very vulnerable, gullible, and this world will puppet you, you know, with the trends that you should look this way or you should look that way, or if you aren't this shape, or if you don't do this, that you're not enough. We got to get out of that. That is that's a kind of way that people, they try to program us. It's not called, just called TV program for no reason. They try to program us to make us feel like, oh, you got to buy this and you got to have this and you got to be in this relationship and you got to have this many kids and a home. You cannot let society or other people define who you are. Whether you want to be single, that's fine. You want to be married, that's fine. You want to have kids, that's fine. You don't want to have kids, that's fine. We each have choices to make. And whatever choice that you have made, you're enough in it. So don't feel like, oh, I'm not good enough because I don't have a husband or a wife, or I'm not good enough because I don't have kids, or I want this and I don't have it. So there's so much people that allow society and this world to get in their head and make them feel like, oh, especially when it comes to weight, if you have a little more weight on you, or whatever the case may be, or you're underweight, or you don't have that much money. Don't let other people tell you what love looks like. You know, I had to take my power back, and I say that to all of my loved ones here. Take your power back. Don't let anybody tell you what love looks like. You have to define what love looks like for you. Um, and I most definitely had to learn how to have a healthy relationship with myself. I had to learn how to have a more healthy relationship with myself. I had to learn how to show up for me. I had to learn to be my own friend. And there's so many people that don't know how to love themselves. They don't know how to respect themselves. But we are all a work in progress, okay? Take your time, okay? Yes, that's right, Georgina. You have to find out what that is for you. For you, love looks like lots of plants, okay? And other people, it may be something else, you know? So I have to tell every single one of you to look inside, do some of that inner work. Am I okay? And if I'm not okay, giving myself the permission to pause, to journal, to do some healing, to speak up for myself, to be self aware. Okay? I am aware of myself and I love myself. And I recognize my feelings. And this is another important one, and that's self boundaries. Do you prioritize your comfort level? If you're uncomfortable by the way other people have treated you, you got to cut that off. You have to change it. And it's easier said than done. It's easy to say cut people off, but when people are your relatives or you're in a romantic relationship, it's going to look different. But it's all worth it. It's all worth it. If you really love yourself like you claim you do, you'll put in the work because you're enough. And if nobody has told you that yet today, I'm going to tell you guys that you're enough. You're worth it. The healing journey is worth it. All of the trauma, all the pain, all the negativity that has happened from your childhood all the way until today, it's all worth it when you put in the work into yourself, okay? So I'm going to give you guys a bonus point and we're going to get out of here, okay? So self-love is not enough. Now, this is the one of the hardest things for me, and that's accountability. I can only be accountable for me. You can only be accountable for you. You cannot make people grow up. You cannot make people support you. You cannot make people love you back. You have to be accountable for yourself. This is what I allow. And we have to also learn to stop enabling people. Boy, is that a difficult one, especially if you have children, or it could be in a romantic relationship. When you love people, like, you'll enable them to disable them. You enable them because you don't like certain things, or you do things for them to disable them so that they depend on you. And that's not a good thing. So we have to stop enabling people's toxicity, and we have to let people make their own choices. And one of the best things that I did for my trauma healing is allowing my siblings, my friends, my other people in my life, allowing them to be themselves and saying, that's not what I want. That's not what I agree with, but not trying to control it, not stressing myself out, not worrying about it all day, allowing people to be themselves, and then putting myself in the position that I prioritize me. I show up for me, and doing all of the things that you need to do to be your best self. Realist says, should have found that out before a date was even discussed. Oh, I missed your comment. Is the third date kind of late to tell me she has a best friend? Oh, a boyfriend. Okay. Yeah. That happens sometimes. So, so that's something that is very important, is for each and every one of us to show up for us, and you got to show up for you. And that's a new concept. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you got to show up for you, even if it's 15 minutes of taking time for, affirming, speaking positive affirmations over your life, or blocking people that have not talked to you all the way since last year. I know every season I go through my phone and I delete phone numbers out of my phone that people, they're not supporting me, it's no serving me no purpose. Actually, it's disrupting my mental health. I have blocked people, and I'm so glad that I've done it because I'm getting me back, a healthier version of me, a healthier version. Okay. um yeah, but what about homeboy? That's like cheating. Yeah, well, if you have to make that decision for yourself, drama. Yes. Hi, J Rock. How are you doing? Yes, we're spreading love in 2026. So I did want to say that to everybody, is that we are each accountable for ourselves. And what really has helped me with trauma healing is not trying to focus on having this expectation that sister, auntie, mama, cousin, friend, your ex, other people are supposed to give you this response. I'm so sorry for what I did. I'm, expecting for people to change that have not. You can't expect for people to be what they're not. It's receiving people how they are, and then you making a decision. Do I want to have these people in my life or no? And most of the time, if you are questioning things, then you don't need them in your life. That's been my rule of thumb, that if I have to ask myself, what are they doing for me? How are they supporting me? That means that they're not. Because if it takes you some time to think about how they support me, how do they love me, it's usually a one-sided relationship where they're just taking from you, taking, and there's not any giving. And why I wanted to have this conversation, why this was so important for me to bring this topic to my loved ones, because so many people have people in their life that are pulling away from their ability to love themselves. And I did it. I did that for many years before I went to therapy. I didn't even recognize I was doing it. Every time you answer that phone call of the person who's always begging for money, or every time you answer that phone call of a person who just, when they call or text or show up, is going to be something negative or something that is going to bring stress on you. And like I said, when I was on the self-awareness part, we have to prioritize our well-being and our comfort levels. Some people make us feel uncomfortable. They're disrespectful, they're a user, and they're not serving any purpose in our life but to bring trauma, stress, aggravation. So those are the people that you got to cut off. And since I have cut off traumatic, negative, low vibrational, drama people out of my life, I'm so much happier. And I want the same thing for all of you. It's not an easy thing to cut off toxic friends or a relationship that is going nowhere, or relatives that are just thinking that you're an ATM. No. If you have people like that in your life that you're not elevating, you're not growing, actually, they're straining you, they're draining you, they're messing up your mental health. That's why we have to have self love. And knowing that self love is not enough and it's the foundation, now we know what else we need. We need self awareness, we need self boundaries, we need self respect, and we need to be accountable. And then cut off all of the draining people, all of the toxic people out of our life. So, and I also wanted to say, do this for you. That was definitely in the title. Do this for you. I know that there's somebody who's listening right now that feels like, they've never stood up for themselves. That took me some time to start standing up for myself and saying, no, I don't want to do that. Say no to the things that you want to say no to, the things that are negative, or people who like to insert you in their drama, or they want you to fix their problems. They always need your help, but they're not doing anything to shift their situation. See, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. Now, that is one hard pill to swallow. That was hard for me to swallow, in being accountable, that if I keep these people in my life, you're stopping them from becoming independent. You're stopping them from making better decisions, because if you always coddle people, if you always do things for people and you don't start saying no, setting those boundaries and doing the right things that you need to do for yourself, people will keep taking advantage of you. People will use you as long as you allow yourself to be used. And when I stop letting myself be used by saying no, and learning to be a friend to myself, learning that it's okay to take a vacation. It's okay to take some time off for my mental health. It's okay for me to start doing things maybe that you didn't used to. That was a new thing for me, to start going to what you call it, my first step was going to therapy and then going to the doctor, getting some things for myself. Like, I would always put myself on the back burner. I was always last. And if you have toxic people on your in your life that are always taking from you, you will always feel like you can never do anything for yourself. Oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. Of course you have the money, and of course you have the time. They will keep you distracted. They will keep you stressed out. They will keep bringing the drama into your life. Trust and believe I'm saying that to all of you because I have been there and done that for so many years. And I want to heal that in somebody today. You don't have to out yourself and say that's me, but if the message applies to you, please do some work. I want you to do some thinking about it. After the stream is over, think about how I can do some better how can I show up for me better? How can I take better care of my mental health, my physical health, my finances? How can I get back into my goals, what I want to do with my life? Have peace. One thing that I had to learn is that I have to make a decision to have peace and not waiting for people in my life to make peace and to do peaceable things. It means you got to set some things. You got to cut some people off. You got to block some people. Stop going around. Stop telling your business. There's things that we have to do when we love ourselves that will free us and will cause us to love ourselves more and will cause us to be overflowing in abundance. All those things will happen when we start treating ourselves right. When you treat yourself right, when you love yourself, when you become accountable, when you do the right things, everything will fall in line, okay? Um, BCU, hi, how are you doing? I'm experiencing family members asking for money. I'm not giving no more money in 2026, as you shouldn't, you know? Um, it's a hard thing when it comes to relatives and money. It's a very touchy subject, like walking on eggshells. Money is hard in all relationships when it comes to friends, romantic relationships with your children, with your relatives, just money in general. Money brings so much discord, so much problems, so much falling out. But my rule of thumb is I will give a donation, and when I say a donation, something that I don't need it back. Like I'm giving you this as a gift, but I don't let people borrow money anymore. Nope. I don't let you borrow money. I will give a donation towards your cause, towards whatever you need. $5, $10, $20, something that I don't need you to give that back, but I'm not giving hundreds of dollars. I don't do that anymore. Why? Because I have I have my own goals and objectives. Hold on, guys. I need to get a sip of water. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, guys. My allergies. But I wanted to say to every single one of you, even if your relatives, even if your friends, even if other people, maybe you have people in your life, they don't want to grow up. They don't want to do the right things. Or your relatives always are in drama and want to bring you into the drama, or they don't want to heal. Don't let relatives or friends or a romantic relationship, don't let other people stop you from healing. Don't let other people stop you from being happy. Okay? I had to remind myself, and I want you also to remind yourself, this is my life. And it's time for me to start living. It's time for me to be healed. It's time for me to say no and mean it. It's time for me to do things with my life. Don't let kids or relative or romantic relationship or other people control the trajectory of your life. That's when you take your power back. That's when you know that you love yourself. When you start making some decisions for yourself. and saying, I'm going to show up for me. I'm going to respect myself. So do that, and you're going to feel so much better. And you know what I always say over here every single time? Happy healing journey. I want you guys to be your best, love yourself, but it's going to take some work. We're a work in progress. But start with the little steps. Maybe journaling, saying no, blocking some toxic people. And for some, maybe it's leaving that romantic relationship that is abusive, disrespectful, or cutting off some relatives that take advantage of you, take advantage of your time, that are rude, disrespectful. We are the ones that have to make a choice. And like I say, every single live, every single video, we train people how to treat us. And if we're not treated in the right way, we have to look within, look in ourselves. What do I allow? What am I enabling? And then we got to stop it and forgive ourselves and give ourselves the permission to be a better, happier, healed person. I wish you a happy healing journey. Nothing but love, prosperity, peace, and blessings. You guys check out my other content. I have many from my heart to yours. I have the Sip and Chat with my co-host, Miss Nexie, and we usually do that on Thursdays. This Thursday, we are back in rotation for the Sip and Chat. But I just want to say to all of you, love yourself. I know that it's not easy and self-love is not enough, but there's some other things that we can do to show up for ourselves. Speak over your life. That changed my life. When I started to do that, speaking over my life, not just waiting for friends or a romantic relationship or my parents or my siblings or friends to say that I was a good person, that I was loved, that I was important. You have to validate yourself. Don't make a relationship or friends or other people validate you. Validate yourself. Speak over your own life. I'm telling you, I promise you, it will change your life. It most definitely changed mine. When I started saying, I am enough. I will show up for myself. I will love myself today, tomorrow, and always. I will make better decisions. I will not say that I need people in my life to make me happy. You make your own self happy, okay? But you got to put in the work, okay? Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into this week's episode of the From My Heart to Yours. If you're new here to Love Marlene 411, feel free to subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. We do the From My Heart to Yours on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we talk about a different topic for trauma healing or self-love or relationships or something like that. It's always something along that accord. So I appreciate you guys. Shout out to my amazing mods on deck. If you see my mods in blue and they're a content creator like Real is One. And also, thank you so much to Sirius and my other mods, James, Nate the Great, Lisa J. Stocks, Boss Life Online. I got a lot of mods. If you see any of those and they're content creators, check out their content. They're awesome. And also shout out to my amazing supporters. Shout out to the channel members. Join my channel membership. It starts at 99 cents for member only content. In my member only, I get into deeper trauma stuff, abuse things, and we get into heavier things. So that's in the channel membership. So you can join that today. I appreciate every single one of you. Oh, Miss Nexie, you're just coming in. I was just about to close. Oh, it's only because Miss Nexie, this is Miss Nexie that you see just came into the live. That is who I do the Sip and Chat with on Thursdays. So, yeah. So only because Miss Nexie is here, I'll stay 10 more minutes just for you, Miss Nexie. Only for Miss Nexie. So Miss Nexie, we were talking about self-love is not enough. Do this for yourself. One thing that Miss Nexie and I have talked about offline, because we are friends, And that's learning how to love ourselves in a better way. And in the past 2 years or so, I've really been pushing that, like going to the gym, getting exercise, taking better care of my mental health, um, doing things that I normally wouldn't do. We have to learn, ladies and gentlemen, to stop pushing ourselves to the background, right? Thank you so much, Sirius, for the gift. I really appreciate it. We have to stop pushing ourselves to the background. And it's so easy to do, ladies and gentlemen, when you have children, or you have family, or you have, or just you're busy working or doing things. We will push ourselves to the background. And one thing that I have been doing since I have had this channel, Love Marlene 411, is learning how to love myself in a better way, learning how to show up for me. So, you guys think about some things. What can I do to love myself better? Is it something that you've been putting off? I know for myself, I have been putting off for years, um, getting my new pair of glasses, and that's something that I did last month. I went and did got myself a new pair of eyeglasses, and getting my hair done and buying makeup. It may not be everybody's thing, but I'm just giving some examples. Is I learned to start doing things for myself that made me happy. It's about, like I said, our comfort level, how we feel. And getting back to walking, or going to the gym, being in nature, taking vacations. Like, so often we will feel guilty, because I know I did. I felt guilty as a woman. Like, if I wanted to buy something for myself, I would feel, oh, thank you so much, Miss Nexie. I really appreciate it. Miss Nexie says, learning to love myself and put myself first was the most challenging but most rewarding thing I've ever done for me. I love me first now. I love that. And I'm so glad to hear that, Miss Nexie. I'm glad that you love yourself now. We all deserve that. Even if your parents or your siblings or an ex or people on social media, even if other people don't like one thing that we have to learn how to love ourselves. We have to learn to be a friend to ourselves. And I'm grateful for my therapist. My therapist taught me that it's okay to pause. The world is not going to, your life is not going to crash and burn because you take 20 minutes for yourself, or you go and get your hair done, or you go to the gym. The thing about it is that we get so used to putting everybody in front of us that by the time we get to ourselves, of course, we're exhausted because we have not prioritized ourselves. And it just means taking care of ourselves before we take care of everybody else. And that doesn't mean we're selfish. It means we love ourselves. Okay? And that's something that's so important. And I want to put that out there, to everybody out there. Love yourself. Do everything that you need to do that, to make that happen. Okay? We each have to put in the work. We each have to be our own friend. And that's going to be different for everybody. But I know that I had to sit down and literally take out pen and paper and write down on a notebook the reasons why I love myself, and how can I love myself better, and how can I prioritize me, and maybe some things that I needed to change, like not answering, like when my phone rings, just leaping for my phone and answering it. That is okay. Let it go to voicemail. Let it go to voicemail. Let yourself be unreachable. People should not have full access to you. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Nope, 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 nope. Don't let people have full access to us. That's a lot of times the reason why we feel so stressed out. I know I get so stressed out because I know when I haven't been saying, I need to cut that person off, or I need to slow down the amount of times I'm around them, because we all know those people that when we're around them, like your head is pounding, or your heart beats fast, or you just feel like you could just lunge and just, you guys know what I'm talking about. You could just lunge at their throat, right? But I'm not condoning violence. But that's how some people make us feel, like we could just jump and lunge at them because they drive us absolutely crazy. Miss Nexie says, that's me. People don't get access to me unless I allow it. But that's a learned thing. We have to learn that part. Just because people call, or just because people ask for things, it doesn't mean that they deserve to get it. They don't deserve your time. I had to learn that part, that my time is important. I'm valuable, okay? And if people don't know how to, work on their time management, like, say for example, you had an appointment with somebody for something and they just no show, or they cancel at the last minute, that's not somebody who respects you or cares about you. Well, we're the ones that show them, oh yeah, that's okay, I can no show. She won't say anything, or he won't say anything, because most of the time we don't. Okay. Hi Natalie, how are you doing? So it's all up to us, to do some better things. And I know for sure my happiness has improved. My mental health has improved. Why has my mental health improved? Because, oh, thank you so much, Miss Nexie. I got a 2026. Thank you. Um, my mental health has improved because when somebody comes in my life with some foolishness, some drama, some negativity, projecting their fears or insecurities onto me, I'm just like right away. I don't even wait. And that is the difference between the new me, the present me, and the former me. The former me would just allow people to run over me. And, oh, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to hurt their feelings. But those same people don't care about hurting yours. Those same people don't care about supporting you. They don't care about taking advantage of you. So why do you care about showing up for yourselves and saying no? It's, like I say, it's all up to us. So so thank you guys so much for your support as always. I think this coming Thursday we are back on schedule for the Sip and Chat. Me and my co-host Miss Nexie, I think we're scheduled. I have to check, but I think we're on schedule back for the Sip and Chat, and that's going to be Thursday, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Another announcement, it will be, this is going to be an ongoing thing, the From My Heart to Yours, Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in, you guys. I enjoyed the conversation. Hopefully you guys got something from it. You got something reinforced. I hope you guys are clapping for yourself and celebrating yourself and putting in the work, fighting for your mental health, fighting for your healing, and doing what's necessary. Thank you, Miss Nexie, for the flower. I really appreciate it. Um, Showing up for yourself, doing the work. Do the work for you. There's nothing like self-love, and there's nothing like healing and not letting people puppet you and saying, I got my power back. I love myself again. It's saying, I feel beautiful, or I feel handsome. I feel like I can accomplish goals. I can show up for me again. That's what you get when you forgive other people. That's what you get when you forgive yourself. That's what you get when you live your life and not letting other people control you. Don't let other people and don't let the past control you. You're not your past. You're the representation that you are today. So show up for you and love yourself, okay? This is Love Marlene 411, and I thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. If you have not already, hit that bell, okay? Hit that bell and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications and check out some of my other content. I have lots of content on trauma healing and relationship stuff, and we have the sip and chats. So much content. So if you enjoyed this one, check out another episode. I welcome you guys here. And like I always say over here on Love Marlene 411, happy healing journey. No, I wish you the best when it comes to love, but first you have to love yourself and heal so that you can show up with love to every other relationship in your life. Set those boundaries and be your best self. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks, guys. Love you, Nexie. Okay, guys. See you guys on the next one. Bye.